with the International Convention 2021. I must say that thank you so much for your participation and contribution. And today, my name is Mai Nguyen, and Ms. Thao Chen, my colleague, and I will be serving as the moderators for this workshop. We do hope that after this workshop, you will have some takeaways to apply in your teaching context. And I'm very pleased to introduce to you our presenter, Mr. Michael Griffin. So Michael Griffin is currently living and working in Ho Chi Minh City. He has an MA TESOL from New School, and after his graduation, he worked and taught several courses at the MA TESOL program there. And currently he is a facilitator at the MOOC program called Integrating Critical Thinking into Exploration of Culture in an EFL setting. There are some interesting information about our presenter. He has learned Vietnamese on Google Meet and Skype, but he noted that we shouldn't ask any question in Vietnamese, okay? So make sure that you put your question in English. And he read two biographies of Ho Chi Minh. So more than anyone, he hoped to be in Vinh this time, but unfortunately he can't. But anyway, I think he will have a chance to visit Vinh City soon. Okay, I will not let you wait more. Please welcome our speaker, Mr. Michael Griffin.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome, Mai, and thank you everybody for coming. I hope we have an interesting session. Mai will not like it very much, but I have to say, maybe there's no takeaways for your teaching on Monday, but maybe there's some questions to think about. Maybe you can reevaluate your beliefs. Maybe you'll have some thoughts in the back of your mind. Why am I doing this? Is this the right choice? So that's really my goal, is to give you some things to consider and think about, and maybe have you question some of your practices or think about other practices. I don't have any clear takeaways, but maybe you'll say, oh, wow, Mike did it this way, I should try that. Or wow, Mike did it this way, that was terrible, I don't want to do that in my class. So maybe there will be some takeaways in that regard. So as you can see, our title here today, Exploring Beliefs, and that's really what I want to focus on, is exploring our thoughts about teaching online. And I'll talk more about why that might be important soon. And thank you again to our moderators. It's so nice to not worry about admitting people into the room while I'm talking. Thank you. So here are some terms that are going to come up today. I had them on the screen before for the early birds. If these terms are new for you, that will be okay. You'll sort of get some help from other people and from myself, but these are some terms to know for today. And I'll revisit this screen soon, but if you want to take a moment to think about them and maybe check your dictionaries, that's okay too.
Or you can put your thoughts and idea and opinion in the chat box so we can share and discuss.
Mm-hmm. As I said before, there's no test on these terms, but it's useful to be familiar with these ideas. And we move along. What is this? Does anyone know this tool, this machine? You can put it into the chat if you do know. A digger, thank you. The word I was thinking was excavator, but digger is completely correct. So one idea with beliefs is that we can excavate, little boy loves it. We can excavate our beliefs and dig deep into our mind and think about, why do we do that? Or why do we think that? Where does that belief come from? Did I get that from my own experience? Did I get that from someone else? Did my employer tell me that and I just did it without thinking? So I want to kind of frame this idea of exploring our beliefs, but also digging into our mind and excavating our beliefs. Then when we are aware of our beliefs, then we can evaluate them and consider them, maybe change them, maybe not. So let me just give you some details about this session before it's too late. This session is very, very, very interactive. And as I said, there's no specific takeaways for your class. So if that's not what you're interested in, there's still time to join another session. You can run away now. I'll hide my eyes so you can leave. 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody's still here. Okay, if you left, I respect your decision. As we work through this session, you can ask questions anytime. I'll keep my eye on the chat. Maybe moderators can help me if I miss something, but I will try to look at the chat. So questions anytime, and also we'll have question time at the end. Questions on my opinion are probably not the most important thing. I think the most important thing is your beliefs and your opinion. But if you're really curious about my opinion, I will probably give it to you. When you're in the breakout room, I will just be listening and kind of trying to take notes on what people are saying. So I might have my camera off and my microphone off, but I'll be there listening. So if you ask me a question, I will answer, but I will try not to participate too much in the breakout rooms, which means I will leave you all to talk to each other in the breakout rooms. And again, this session is very, very, very interactive. And please do let me know if you get stuck. You want me to help with the term, or what does that mean? So that's some tips on this session. I'll tell you a little bit more about how the procedure will go in a moment. But basically, I have 3 sets of beliefs that I've taken note of over the last year or so, last 2 years. And I thought, that's interesting. Someone's doing this. Oh, what's the belief there? Okay, so I write down the belief and I think, oh, wouldn't it be interesting to discuss these beliefs with other professionals? So that's part of what's coming next. So in our session today, I will have 3 rounds where you simply discuss which beliefs you agree with and why. So that's the procedure. Is I'll give you a list of beliefs, give you a minute to think about it, and then send you away to breakout rooms with strangers and ask you to give your opinion, which ones you agree with, which ones you don't, and why. But before that, I want to give a little bit of a history of how this session came to be. I think it's maybe not the most interesting thing. I don't think people came to a session to learn about the history of the session, but I do think it's important to consider where I'm coming from for this. So a few quick things. I'm here in Vietnam. It looks like many people are in Vietnam as well. So last year in 2020, as the whole world fell under the pandemic, I was feeling pretty nice here in Ho Chi Minh City. I had live classes, face-to-face classes last year in October, in November, when in my home country, that was just my home country of the US, that was just impossible. But so I was a little bit seeing things from a distance last year. Here in Vietnam, it was like, okay, this is what's happening in the world, but things are a little bit different here. And I'm very connected online with lots of teachers around the world, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or in my work. So I tried to get some ideas about how the situation is going. And a few things really jumped out at me. The first one was that many, especially like private language schools, they just simply moved their classes from face-to-face to Zoom. So students paid for 3 hours of face-to-face class a week. Now suddenly you have 3 hours of Zoom. I thought that was quite interesting and surprising, and I wondered, what's the belief there? What's the thinking behind that? And I sort of thought, who's making the decisions here? Is this a teacher that chose this? Is it the management that chose it? Where is this coming from? So that kind of built, so I thought, what's the belief here? Is there a belief? Is there an idea that 1 hour online is equal to 1 hour face-to-face? Or did we not, I see people saying no, did we not really think about that? And where's that decision coming from? The other thing that I wanted to mention about my background is most of my work for teacher training and even teaching English, a lot of my work is asynchronous. What does that mean, asynchronous? Somebody can help me. Tao, if you want to tell. You can tell.
Yes, that means, yeah. So the teacher often work as a facilitator, just and student or participant just watch the video lesson, and then maybe they post their answer on the discussion board, and then so maybe we change idea with other participants of this course.
Great answer, thank you. And the key point I want to emphasize is about time. You can do it at your own time on a probably maybe on a discussion board. So the vast majority of my experience of teaching online was asynchronous as opposed to synchronous, which we're doing now at the same time. So asynchronous teaching, lots of discussion boards. So last year when everybody suddenly moved to Zoom, I thought, maybe this is where's this coming from? Is there some room for some more asynchronous learning here? And I always felt that. And I tried not to judge any teachers for making those decisions because I think it was an emergency situation and people just did what they could do, did their best under the circumstances. So for the last 2 years, I've been collecting beliefs about online teaching that I read and hear and feel and imagine to be a belief. And I'll share those with you today and ask you to look at them, think about them. So regarding beliefs, this quote that's coming here, I think is quite a nice one. It actually appears in the abstract, but I think it's worth sharing. I'll give you a minute to read it. And what I want to emphasize here is that maybe lots of institutions don't really care so much about teachers' beliefs. It's not really a central focus for lots of places. So they don't value teachers articulating their beliefs, and there's not a lot of room or space for it. And again, that's part of my reason for today's session. So this is the first part of the quote. I'll share with you the second part, and this is a very challenging task to see if you can see the difference between the two quotes. Here's the second quote. I think you can find the difference. Here's the full quote again. And this, I think, is a point of emphasis here. The more you're aware of your beliefs, the easier it is to make decisions, or at least know why you're making these decisions. And I think this really speaks to a lot of what happens when we shift online, is we're making decisions, but maybe we're not always exactly sure why we're making those decisions. So today I wanted to kind of create a space to think about these through examining beliefs. So I've already mentioned this a little bit, but I'll share with you a list of beliefs and then ask you to rate them. Give them a number. So if 5 means you strongly agree, 1 means you strongly disagree, and then I'll put you into groups, into breakout rooms, and ask you to share which belief you strongly agree with and which belief you strongly disagree with. Then you can ask why, you can explain why, you can ask questions, you can try to understand each other. You can give examples, you can help each other understand different beliefs on this. So it's not a highly structured task, but basically I want you to have one belief you disagree with and one belief you agree with, and then share your ideas together. So that's the basic procedure. And a few more quick notes, and then I'll stop talking and send you and get you on your tasks. Once again, it's a very interactive session, so if that's not what you're looking for, maybe it's time for breakfast. As I said, the discussions are not very highly structured. You have about 10 minutes, 12 minutes in a group to discuss things. Sometimes maybe you'll get a little stuck. You don't know what a term means or what it means in this context. Here, you can just use your best judgment. I think it means this. I read it to mean this. I've done this similar session before 2 times with different beliefs, and some people told me the beliefs were very annoying They said the beliefs are written in an annoying way. This is kind of intentional. So it's supposed to get a reaction from you to help you agree or disagree, maybe a little more strongly. Maybe you will find one word that you disagree with and that makes you disagree. And that's the kind of thing you can share in your groups. Importantly, this is not a debate. It's just sharing your views. So you don't need to convince anyone or persuade anyone. You can simply give your opinion and they can say, oh, that's interesting, and move on. You don't have to reach a consensus. You don't have to persuade someone. You don't have to make someone right or wrong. Just rather share your beliefs. And it's fine because they're just beliefs. They can change. And what we're trying to do is find the beliefs, excavate our beliefs to find them, articulate them, and then examine them, and then maybe make a change later, maybe not, but at least to be aware of them. So that's really my main focus here. It's not about convincing other people that your belief is right. So we don't have to convince other people. It's just your opinion, man. One more small note here, procedural note. When I say Zoom, I mean Meet, Teams, Skype, all sorts of synchronous apps that we could use to teach. So I don't mean specifically Zoom, but I do mean Zoom. So once again, here's the procedure. I'll share with you some statements coming in a moment. I'll give you a minute or two to think about it, which ones you agree with. If you need my help in the chat, please let me know. And then I'll send you to breakout rooms to discuss. Each round, about 10, 12 minutes, as I said. And the beliefs are coming now. So you wanna take note of which one you agree with most, which one you disagree with most, and be ready to talk about it. But I'll share the screen here and let you think about it for a couple minutes before I send you away. Oops, sorry, I spoke too soon. Here are some terms that you need to know for today. Synchronous at the same time, asynchronous at a different time. Emergency remote teaching is sort of when we have to be online because of the pandemic. Online teaching is, teaching online because of a choice, because of some reasons. Digital natives and digital immigrants. Can you help me, Mai?
Yeah, so digital natives means you are born with the technology. You are very used to using technology. And digital immigrants, Michael said that he is kind of digital immigrants because he had to learn how to use technology when he was an adult, something like that.
Perfectly said. Perfect, exactly. Those are two terms that appear, or digital native appears later. And rapport, I think most people know this word, but just to be clear, rapport, warm feelings, close feelings, making a connection with teachers and students or with anybody. So those are some terms that are coming up in the beliefs. Once again, your job here, please rate the beliefs, agree, strongly disagree, and be ready to share why in a small breakout room. And here are the beliefs. Once again, I'll stop talking for a moment and let you think about it.
When the participants are in the breakout rooms, can they see this?
No. So I'm going to put it into the chat, but no. So maybe. So they can see it in the chat above.
Probably they can screenshot so they can use it later when they are in breakout rooms.
Yes. I put it into the chat there so you have it, and you can take a photo, you can take a screenshot.
Yes.
You can just remember your two that you agree with. That's really your main job here. Thank you, Mike. And if you have a question on the terms or the meaning, you can let me know. And I will send you away then to breakout rooms. As I said, about 12 minutes. Please feel free to say hello and good morning and be human beings before you dive right in. And enjoy. Hello. Some people just joined. Hello. If I know that you're here, I'll send you to a breakout room. If not, I will relax. Good morning. So, thank you, Tao. So what we're doing right now is thinking about some beliefs about teaching online. And I just put a link into the chat there. We're looking right now at the first set of beliefs, but soon I will stop this discussion. So maybe you want to take a look at the first set and the second set and think about what you think about it. Think about those beliefs about teaching online, if you agree or disagree. Everyone will be back in 1 minute. Welcome back. People are coming back. Everyone should be back in about 10 seconds. Thank you. Okay, hello again. Some rooms were a little bit quiet, but that's okay. That's related to the risks that we take with sending students to breakout rooms, and we can learn from it and hopefully do better each time. So this time coming, the rooms will be a little bit bigger, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more participation. But thank you to those who were participating. I heard some interesting points. Someone was talking about, well, when we have internet and it works okay and students have devices, teaching online is great. But when we don't have all those things, it's not so great. So we need to consider what devices students have, what access students have. I think that's a very important point that's not really part of my session, but it's incredibly important. So thank you for bringing that up. Someone else was saying, yes, good teacher is a good teacher is a good teacher, no matter where they are. It doesn't matter, online, offline. I think this is an interesting point. I'm not sure I agree, but as I said, my opinion is not the important thing here today. So as I said, I have 3 sets. You can't turn on speaker?
Oh.
Maybe you're muted right now.
Okay, so Hồng Ánh, yeah, please, yeah, have the Kim Hon to unmute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to it later, Kim Hoon. Okay. Thank you. So I shared with you before 1 set of beliefs, and I said we have 3 sets. Here in this Google Doc that I'm sending you is all 3 sets. So it might be easier for you, so you don't have to use my PowerPoint slide to do that. I put it into the chat. I will put it into the chat for belief set 2 again, and I'll share it on the screen. But just so we have it everywhere, belief set 2 is here, and I'll share it on my screen. And once again, it's in the Google Doc that I just sent. So here's the second set of beliefs. Please take a minute to think about them. Which ones do you agree with the most? Which ones do you disagree with the most? And be ready to share your opinion in a breakout room. Once again, if you really agree, you give it a 5 and you get ready to talk about it. If you really disagree, you give it a 1 and you get ready to talk about it in your breakout. And if you're stuck on the wording here, please let me know.
Teacher,
Yes.
I don't understand point C. Teacher need to be more forgiving of themselves and students when work online.
So if someone makes a mistake, we can easily say, it's okay, don't worry about it. Because online, there's lots of challenges, there's lots of things we don't know. So we need to forgive, and forget mistakes more easily. So as a teacher, maybe we do a bad lesson. Online, maybe we should say, oh, it's okay, don't worry. Do better next time. Forgive yourself, give yourself permission to make a mistake. Don't feel bad. Is basically what I want to say. Or don't be angry. Don't be angry with students if they don't do such a great job at first, because it takes time to learn.
Because I have experience when I put the Google form for them, and some kids they doesn't do, and I follow up them many times, and some kids they go to do, and some kids they forget over 1 week.
Right.
Because I have a role, and 1 week have one exercise for them. They Google form, and example on Monday, they must submit on Friday. When a teacher check on Friday, they're not yet.
So,
follow up.
maybe this is a case to be forgiving if it's difficult for students, but that's a choice for you that I can't make. Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it. So once again, I'm going to send you to breakout rooms here. Please say hello to the people there. This room a little bit shorter, more like 8 minutes, so you can share your strong agreement and your strong disagreement in your groups. See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we are coming back. Welcome back. It seems that deadlines was the hot topic in many groups. I heard lots of groups talking about deadlines, and it was very interesting for me to hear, as I jumped around from group to group, to hear a wide range of opinions and beliefs about this. And I think this is one of the beautiful things about exploring beliefs, is that we can say, oh, wow, that person who's very smart and reasonable has a very different belief from me. They have a totally different perspective. Wow, maybe I can change my perspective, or maybe I can be even more sure of why my perspective is like this. Thomas says, nice chatting. I enjoyed listening to you guys chat as well. Elvira Balinas talk about hard deadlines and soft deadlines. I thought that was an interesting point as well. Thank you, Mike. Once again, I think this idea of articulating our beliefs, and then when we're aware of our beliefs, then we can really examine them and think if they match with what we really do, if they match with what we want to do, if they match with our institutions, if they match with our students' goals and needs and everything like that. So we have one more round here, as you know. Once again, I'll share with you the link so you can see all the beliefs there. We're going to look at beliefs set 3 now. I'll share my screen as well. And we're looking at belief set 3 now. And you want to be prepared to talk about which ones you agree with most and which ones you disagree with most. I see Hang is taking a picture. That's a beautiful, wonderful idea. I like it. Some people are taking a screenshot, I guess. So I'll stop talking and give you a minute to think about which one you agree with and disagree. And once again, when I say Zoom, I mean any sort of synchronous online platform, whether it's Teams or Skype or whatever. Okay, so I'll send you away for your last round here. Please discuss with your new random group. Please feel free to say hello again, and please share your thinking. Hello, Miss Hua. We're discussing, are you there? Hello, Ms. Hua. If you're there, please let me know. This is excellent live streaming for those of you out there on the internet watching. Oh, I'll send you to a breakout room. If you join and don't talk, that's okay. It's a very
Okay.
interesting situation because it recorded whatever room I was in. So
Okay, so Michael, we just only have the 5 minutes.
yes,
Okay.
perfect, thank you. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fruitful conversation. I talked to pretty much one person, which was nice and interesting, so thank you for that. Hopefully you had an interesting conversation. Was there any hot topics in your room? Any disagreement? Which one? Hang.
Yeah, agree, cameras. So much in the chat, cameras.
About cameras, some disagreement on it.
So did you call me? Did you call me, Michael? Did you call
I thought
Hans?
so. I thought you looked ready to say something.
Oh yeah, because I tried to speak, but it was unmuted. It was muted, but now I am unmuted. So I had the chance to talk with one of my partner regarding the first sentence, the first part about you know, the belief on who should support student in online learning. My partner believe that teachers should should play an important role in guiding students to learn online, to be self-disciplined, like in real life. You know, it's not
so to be like
teaching.
autonomous learners and self-discipline.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. But from my side, I can also see the situation with teachers. Many teachers currently are not prepared with online teaching. They themselves struggle as well. So I guess there should be a collaboration, both sides, you know, teachers and students, to set a clear expectation, even understanding, mutual understanding. So it's not only teachers helping students to learn, but also students sharing and support teachers.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I said that I didn't want to give my opinion too much, but I talked about this term digital native. This is a term that comes up very often in conferences, and I think it's not really so true because students do need support. JP, did you have a comment? Okay.
Yeah, I also would like to share ours. And initially, with mine, we were on two opposing viewpoints about whether we allow students to turn on their cameras all the time. But along the way, when we gave our explanations and viewpoints and even our context here in the Philippines and there in Vietnam and the kind of students and situations that we are, and we were able to meet along the way and find out. And the bottom line I said is for us to be able to strike the balance as to when do we allow and require them to turn on their cameras and what's the reason why for doing that. Yeah.
What's the reason why? Sure. Great point. Great point. And this is really what I want to emphasize today. So many times at conferences and professional development, we think about how to do this, but I think this why question is quite an important one. Thank you for highlighting that. We're sort of coming to the end here, but I want to give you your homework. I see some surprised faces. So here's your homework to think about these questions. You talked about all these beliefs. Does it match your practices? And if it doesn't, that's okay. What's something you're unsure about? What's a new belief that you uncovered, that you excavated? Where do these beliefs come from? Did your beliefs change? Gentleman just mentioned that he reached a kind of understanding. Maybe his belief didn't change so much, but he got a little bit deeper understanding. And what's something you want to keep thinking about? You don't have to make a decision now. You don't have to make an action plan now. You don't have to make an exact plan for tomorrow, but hopefully you'll be thinking about these questions here and these beliefs, especially with this idea of I didn't even know that was a belief I had. I just did that. I just followed the rules without thinking so deeply. So I think we're just about out of time. We'll end the session officially, but I'll leave very slowly in case people want to say something or share something or whatever. I'll let the wonderful moderators handle the rest. Thank you everyone for coming. It was really enjoyable to listen to your opinions and to get different ideas and to hear this professional exchange of beliefs.
Yeah, so JP put in the chat, this is a great session. Thank you for the exchanges. And for Hằng, this is a good reflective session, Michael. Thank you all for this because of the time limits. So you can send the questions through the email to our presenter. And now I think thank you all for your presence and participation and contribution. Let's turn on your camera and take a photo together. Why not, right?
Okay.
Yes. So Michael, can
You stop share? Yes.
Oh, sure.
And yeah.